What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And in this video I'm going to be going over potential rule changes that could be done in the AFL. A few days ago I put up a something on my story letting you guys suggesting potential rule changes that can be done. So I'm going to be going over them and discussing whether or not they will be good in the AFL. Also, when I'm going over the rules, I might get stuff wrong since I'm not up to date with the latest rules and stuff, and don't have the biggest footy knowledge in the world. So if I get anything wrong, just let me know nicely down in the comments. And so I'm just reading this off my old phone. So we've got from J Mitch 15. We've got super goals in a regular season, 9 points. And I reckon it's actually a pretty good idea because, no one really cares about the NAB or the JLT. So I reckon putting super goals in the AFL will be a good idea because it'll increase chances of scoring. It will higher the scores, which is a problem that the AFL have had lately. So I reckon having super goals would be a good idea. If someone it will encourage more players to have shots from outside 50. And let's just say there's 30 seconds left and a team's 8 points down. It'll be really hard for them to get back kicking 2 goals. But if they need a super goal, they could just kick the super goal and they'd win, which could count to some more exciting finishes. And I know that super goal is kind of like a staple of the JLT and preseason matches, so they wouldn't really want to change that. But I still reckon that they probably should, or I'd definitely be up for it if they did change it. The next response from Flynn Delaney 18, Lucas Riley wanted the third man up back in. He is suggesting the third man up, so I'm pretty sure the third man up rule is gone. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it lately in the game. And in my opinion, I didn't like it that much. I thought it was a bit confusing, but not much to say on it. I don't have too many thoughts on the third man up rule, but if it comes back in, it's not going to be that much of an issue. But I just thought it was pretty confusing, and it didn't really bring too much into the game, and it caused a lot of controversy and free kicks. AFL footy edits plus more. Bob49 also answered deliberate, has said the deliberate rule, and I'm pretty sure he's talking about how crap it is and how inconsistent it is, because there are moments when someone's kicking it, basically they're trying to not get delivered. The aim isn't to get it delivered, their aim is to avoid getting delivered, but it bounces 7 times one way and it ends up going out of bounds and being called deliberate. But then there are other times when a player clearly goes over the line, but it isn't called for deliberate. I reckon, I definitely see why it's a good rule, because it encourages play to continue and encourages players not to be lazy and not just run over the line like absolute fools. But then there are also other, the deliberate rules definitely one of those rules where you can hate it, but you can also love it, because if it goes against you for a crappy call. So I'm pretty sure I'd like the rule to be changed so it's more consistent. And when players are severely under pressure, I know if they're under pressure they're allowed to deliberate, but they got to ease it down a bit more, because it is kind of ridiculous. Sammy GFC said quicker quarters, and I'm not sure if that's the best idea. I know that apparently they're trying to reduce the breaks for quarters, but quicker quarters, they used to have 25-minute quarters plus stoppage time, but quicker quarters, by quicker, maybe 2 minutes quicker, it will definitely reduce the scoring, and it will reduce time watching the footy, which I'm not a fan of. I'd rather watch the footy for longer than shorter, but I can definitely see where he's coming from. Players also would like more of a rest, but I'm not the biggest fan of quicker quarters personally, but let me know what you guys think down below. So we've got Andy Munro, who believes that they should remove the academies from the draft, and I'm not the biggest I don't have that much of an insight on the academies, but I'm pretty sure it's where basically they get a bit of an advantage on talent on draft selection in their area, So yeah, I do see why academies can be an unfair advantage for some clubs in the draft, and that's probably why it's probably they should eliminate it. But then there are obviously other reasons why they're in place. That's for like states like New South Wales and Queensland, so they can get talent from those states up there. We've got. I'm gonna skip through the ones that I got, which weren't really proper ones. We've got Lincoln 16. He said he would change the 10 meters off the line after behind to 5 meters. So basically, I think that means kicking out, does it? Or I'm not sure what he's like after a behind kick, like the 10-meter line. So basically, they get less of a kick after 5 meters. I think that's what he's trying to say. Yeah. Blake AFL Lover says that he doesn't want 15 meters to be put in the AFL, and I don't agree with that because 15 meters are good. They are, but I do agree with too many 50 meters isn't good. Like the protected zone, that rule is just one of the worst rules sometimes. When a player goes past by maybe a meter or like even less than that, and there's a 50 gets paid again, they could cost a team a game basically. If there was like 80 meters out and then they get a shot from like 30 meters out, they could cost the team the game for over something stupid. So they're just gonna make 50s not as bad, or maybe have a rule where like rules like that have a lesser penalty, like a 25-meter penalty or something. But if someone like, I don't know, knocks someone out or something, or I don't know, does something stupid, like if someone takes a mark and then the other player just fucking just absolutely king hits them, then I probably would implement the 50 meters there. I mean, if you don't put a 50 meters on that, I don't know where else you would. Ryan and my dog Rosie Richmond responded, and he said no rules. So he believes that in AFL there shouldn't be any rules next year, meaning that you can do whatever you want. But if there were no rules, there wouldn't be any scoring and there wouldn't be any point in the game. But I do like what you're coming from. Ted Conroy 9, he responded and said no push in the back. Well, they're not going to take it out. I see where you're coming from. Like the push in the back rule is a bit soft at times, but if someone's literally shoving someone in the back, then definitely the push in the rule back rule definitely needs to be applied, and it's definitely useful and stuff. Riley Burke went for the chopping of the arms rule, where he obviously wanted that to be eliminated. And I'm not the biggest fan of the chopping of the arms rule, where chop the arms, you get a free kick for something. I mean, it definitely depends, but something really soft, it shouldn't be a free kick for, in my opinion. And I wouldn't mind if they got rid of that rule. Brados25 believes that the AFL is too soft nowadays, and I agree with that. Not fully, but I do agree that it's definitely, at least back in the 80s and 90s, there'd be king hits every game basically, and definitely suspensions are a lot more stricter these days, like jumper punches, like touching the umpire, and like, you know, pushing someone. I guess someone giving a light shove can get you suspended sometimes, or like get a free kick away. Max Lamers 393 isn't a fan of the high tackle rule. Or he's just said high tackle, so either he wants the high tackle rule to be gone completely, meaning that you can take someone by the neck and the game continues. Definitely getting rid of the high tackle rule would not be a good idea, but definitely the ducking rule is a good rule because it stops players from ducking their head, such as Joel Selwood, which he does a lot. And it's very annoying when players duck and get high tackles, because they just get free kicks in front of goal. And I'd say the last one, which is one of the better ones that I got given, is from one Nicholas 2019, and he thinks that a best of 3 grand final should be a new rule implemented soon. And I'm not completely against that one. It's actually not a bad idea. But I'd say one would be played at the MCG, probably the grand final, and then one would be played at each of the home grounds. But it would make the AFL more money, but then it would kind of lose the actual event of the grand final, because instead of grand final day, it's grand final week, or like there's multiple grand final days. It would lose its effect, but it's definitely a good idea, and I don't know, they might make that happen, like in the NBA where they have like the best of series. I think it's 7 games, but yeah. But then there are also a few that I got, which I mean, they obviously not really realistic, but Zachary Cilia says Collingwood should start with 100. Anna Coupe 1602 said to replace the stupid umpires with dogs. Reed Zach responded, each team will pick a player from 9 to 17. Dingo D24 said Hawthorn gets special treatment. Zach Osman 02 said umpires that don't hate Essendon. That's all that he wants, and fair enough, but St Kilda gets more of a hatred from the umpires than Essendon, that's for sure. Jack Philpott says that I should be able to bypass into the draft. I do like that rule. Definitely a rule they should implement in a couple of years' time. No Guac, he said not a rule, but he doesn't want the umpires to be biased. And I definitely agree with that. Umpires are biased as hell, like for home ground advantage teams. Luke Bock said no criminals can play footy, which actually isn't a bad rule. Well, definitely should be a rule. I mean, you can't king hit a guy and then still play the next week. Geordie Pluto said let St Kilda win every game. Don't mind that rule, definitely. I'm Nick Irvine, wanted to remove all the players. Definitely an interesting rule there. Jordan Bishop went with to pick one fan in the crowd at halftime to play for their team. Imagine having an 85-year-old lady playing for your team in the grand final in the second half and taking out, I don't know, Patrick Dangerfield. That would, couldn't even imagine what would happen to the old lady. Yeah, there'd definitely be some controversy there. And Andrew isn't available as username responded with allowing Joey near you. Yeah, I think we'll wrap up the video with that one right there. So I'm trying to hopefully this video isn't too long, and I know I'm not up to date with all the AFL rules since they're changing basically every 15 minutes. If you want me to put more questions on my stories for a video, I'll definitely do that. My Instagram will be down below and up there, so definitely give it a follow. Let me know any further video ideas down below, and I'm trying most likely to get 2 more videos out by the end of the week. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys soon.